If you have a weak Muladhara Chakra, first of all, we'll look, what is the Muladhara? What is its significance? And what are the three main remedies to build a powerful, incredible, well-balanced and sustained Muladhara Chakra? Because most people think the most important chakra is the Saraswara in the subtle body, which is the subject in upcoming satsang. Maybe it will come up next in this satsang video, maybe the following week, but we will talk also about why the Saraswara is the highest chakra and the path of enlightenment. But for the Muladhara, it is the most important because it's the basis of existence. It's at the very root cause of your existence. And the Muladhara Chakra, it just means Mula from root, Mu, root, Dara, base. So Muladhara. It is located at the perineum into your body temple, right above the rectum area in the perineum. And in the yogic tradition, it's been seen as red. It's the color of the Devi Mayi Ma, is the color of the Divine Mother. For some of you, Mahashakti just means primordial energy, divine feminine energy. It's red. It's the seed of Prithvi Tattva, Prati Tattva. It's the seed of Mother Earth, of the element of the earth, because we're made of 5 elements. And the most important element in our body temple is earth. And so, therefore, it's the seat of Prati Tattva, we say from Sanskrit. And it's viewed as red. So the Muladhara Chakra has 4 petals. It's an inverted triangle, and it's the color red for the Devi from the yogic tradition. And today, exactly in my red, I wear a lot of red. It's a beautiful color. So the Muladhara is the foundation of our existence. So if it's weak and it's not well balanced and well stabilized, it will cause a lot of trouble, not only with your health, but with your spiritual awakening. Let me ask you this question, beloved. Have you ever feel drawn to go to the ocean so many times and you say, why is it the ocean is always calling me? Not because it's beautiful to go be at the ocean, but there's something, your body needs it. Have you noticed that? I know for my being, it was like that when I was much younger. By the way, everything I'm sharing here comes from tremendous life wisdom, from my own spiritual awakening, tremendous furious kundalini ascension, and from being a mystic and a yogini. If some of you don't know who is Devi Mayi Ma, you could check it out. But I have had phenomenal experience in this lifetime. And so I'm sharing a lot of my life experience here and my own secret, my own insight. And at the end of this satsang, I'll share the fourth remedy, which I did to cure maybe it's not the right word, but to strengthen and make my Muladhara very well balanced and strong. Because if you don't have that, it's going to make your life miserable. With your kundalini ascension. And so that question I was asking you, do you feel drawn to the ocean because your body is asking? If the answer is yes, type it in the comments section right now. And it is because your Muladhara is weak. It's most likely the case. Next question for you is, Are you experiencing certain symptoms of kundalini rising and nightmarish symptom? I have been getting email over the years there and there asking questions on this subject, and even some people coming to me why this is so intense is if you are feeling like disoriented, having all kind of pain, all kind of things that it's uncontrollable, write it in the comment section. It most likely is you have a weak Muladhara. Muladhara, it is the connection with Mother Earth, as I was saying. And so if it's not strong, powerful, well-balanced, and well-established and stable, it will not sustain you for Kundalini ascension. How? Let me give you an example. You're building a beautiful house, as 3-story, but you have a poor foundation, very weak foundation. How do you expect the house to stay? You're building an apartment building or a temple, and your foundation is super weak and has no pillar, nothing connected to the earth. How is it going to stay? It's the same thing for you, beloved. So see your body as a temple, or as a church, or as a synagogue, or as just a shrine for the divine that inhabit within your lotus of your heart. And so therefore, your root chakra is the fundamental of your life existence. And so if you answer yes into those two questions, your body temple is asking you for going to the ocean a lot, not because it's beautiful, but because you need the iron of the ocean. You need the iron of the beach to put your feet barefoot there. And if you said yes also that you are having a tough journey on your spiritual awakening with Kundalini symptoms, and it's not pleasant, it's nightmarish, is also because of that. And so those 3 remedies, what are they? The first one is the seed of Mother Earth, is the seed Prithvi Tattva. So you need to connect with Mother Earth. And the best way to do that, you go to the ocean. I have done that for so many decades when I was much younger. I did it so often, walking barefoot. And this is a great opportunity, actually, I should say, to do mindful, what I teach, walking meditation. If you haven't watched that series on mindfulness, there's 3 videos there in the playlist on mindfulness. Do them, because one of them I go into how to do walking meditation. It's such a beautiful dharana meditation, different kind of meditation like any other. So you walk barefoot in the ocean, even maybe just by where the water is, but you got to be barefoot, beloved. Absorb the iron of Mother Earth. And number 2 inside is, see, the Muladhara has a spot, because what I did mention, which is most important here, is the Muladhara, the root chakra, is also the seat of the pranamaya kosha. It is directly connected, associated with your energy body. It's one of the sheets of the Maya kosha into your subtle body. And that's why that it needs to be so strong and so well established and stabilized in order for the energy to rise. Because remember, Kundalini ascension, awakening and rising is just that, is the Shakti, the primordial energy, the divine feminine energy is ascending in the 7 most important chakra. We have 114 chakra in the subtle body. And there's plenty of video satsang on our channel on that subject. But to stick to this with the Muladhara, the whole journey of enlightenment is from the Muladhara to the Swasara as the energy move up. So that's why your foundation needs to be the most important, the strongest, the well-established, stable balance. And so for your energy to rise, so you need to make that connection with Mother Earth to absorb the healing energy. So another technique is, and I did that a lot, you sit cross-legged, or you could sit with both of your feet touching to each other. This is an asana that makes the root chakra very solid, because it's associated, by the way, that chakra is associated with solidity and with foundation and with Mother Earth. And so you want that spot of that root chakra to touch Mother Earth, sitting on the grass, sitting at the ocean, touching it with both of your feet touching each other, cross-legged, like this. This is your leg, cross-legged, touching like this. Or for a while, at least for 5 minutes, and then you dig it into the earth. What I did, and this is my suggestion to you, dig a hole in your garden, at least 3 feet deep, and make it a spot when the weather permit, of course. I did that for many, many, many years, and I would go meditate there. I had a spot where I had some, by the way, when you meditate, always make sure you have some support, because it's very hard to meditate if you're not comfortable. You want to make sure you're very comfortable and you have something that gives you some support. And so you have your area with your hole in the earth, and you go meditate there. And I would cover this hole after I finish meditation, but I always put my feet in there. And so it was like half of my legs basically were down in the ground. And I went there every day and meditated, because I had that big challenge like you. And you know what the reality is, beloved? Most people have a very weak Muladhara, and they don't know. And they're shocked when they find out, because that's the reality of the world we live in, because we're so bombarded. The diet is so depleted from nutrients. There's so chemical in the air. We're bombarded with so many environmental challenges. Most people don't do hatha yoga. And so there's so many big challenges, health challenges, that make the Muladhara very weak. And if you have a lot of health challenges, that's the third question. Write it down into the comment section, see if it's a yes, is that I can almost guarantee you, if you're going through a illness, your Muladhara is very weak. And so the more you do those things, the more you will feel so rejuvenated and restored. And then you will start becoming stronger and stronger, which lead us to the third one, which I touched just briefly. Hatha Yoga, which is one branch of the yogic tradition. There are 7 branches, but that is the first one. And so you want to bring some asana posture that focuses on contraction and release of your lower back. Any asana like inversion, bridge, that releases and contract your lower back are the most important to build a strong root chakra. And where you can release your lower back and a stretch lower back, like the underdog, it's a wonderful one. So you must practice at least 4 times a week. Any kind of hatha yoga, there are many different styles, Astanga, Vyasana, the flow. You could choose what you want, but make sure you incorporate especially the most important, the asana, the posture that require to compress and release your lower back, because where the root is. And so those are, oh, the last one I almost forgot, my little secret, which came to my being very intuitively when I was so much younger, when I started. Well, actually, I've never started. I was born very spiritual. It was just very natural. But I meant when I started meditating and on my way to realize my true divine presence was like probably over like 25 years ago. Without even knowing, I would create a triangle with both of my hands, and I would always fall asleep with this inverted triangle right below, right here, if you can see, right down on my belly in the lower area of my abdomen, and I would fall asleep like that. And I didn't even know. Intuitively, I was creating the triangle, the inverted triangle of the root chakra. And I would fall asleep like that consciously, chanting Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, very consciously with my breath. And I would always fall asleep with that inverted triangle. And it was only a few years later when I was in the temple of Devi Mayi Ma in India, when I saw the inverted triangle, and I realized that I was doing that. I intuitively, well, actually it was not even intuitive, because intuitive comes from the gut, is physical. It was coming from my inner voice, which is of the beyond. And so those are the three main crucial remedy, and I would encourage you to do it regularly for many years, that you build your root chakra very strong, very well stabilized, and bring about, if you want, you could test that. It really did wonder for me, I will tell you. All of those things I did for, God, I don't know, maybe 6, 7 years, because my kundalini ascension was furious, so furious. If you haven't read about it, or you don't know about it, I encourage you to read Becoming the Light, Realize Your True Enlightened Nature. And it's Amazon bestseller on spirituality, transformation, self-help, body and mind and soul. Because, and I went through so many illnesses, some of you knows the cancer, advanced breast cancer I've had. And so my root chakra was a mess. I didn't even have any foundation. I did all of those things I'm sharing with you. So make sure you go regularly to the ocean, walk barefoot, do walking meditation, sit on the ground, make sure your pranamaya kosha is connected to the healing energy, to Mother Earth, to the seed of Trepti Tattva, and dig a hole in your garden, big enough, at least 3 deep. Make sure you cover it so no animal falls into it. You cover it, and when you go back, meditate, uncover it. Make sure you have some support where you can do your practices and meditate. And do it every day. Well, maybe not going to the beach every day, because that's a little difficult. And then do asana, the one I mentioned, inversion. It doesn't matter who they are, which one they are, because it depends what kind of flow of Hatha Yoga you want, but you want to practice at least 4 times minimum per week. And the last one, the inverted triangle, falling asleep consciously on your breath with your inverted triangle way below into in the area of your perineum, and you fall asleep like that, mindfully, consciously on your breath, chanting mentally Om Namah Shivaya. And the benefits are tremendous, especially the last one. It's up to you. You don't have to do the fourth one, but at least do the first three ones. The fourth one is really for the true, sincere seeker who wants to accelerate very fast on the spiritual path. And so write down any question in your comment section, answer those questions, and you might have some other question regarding your own personal case. Don't be shy, share it with our loving community and subscribe, because we have a lot of phenomenal, empowering satsang on Devi Mayi Ma channel. And make sure to click on the next. Oh, we have a whole playlist on chakra, which I forgot to mention in the previous satsang video, on the Saraswara, on the Hanahata, the Vishuddhi, the Ajna, a whole playlist on chakra, and fascinating, that will empower you to a new level. A lot of meditation and guided meditation, and join us to Drinking Bliss Divine Satsang every second Monday of the month at 7 p.m. Pacific time. We go live and you can interact with me, ask your question. And so share this satsang with your friends and your family, love it, and write your comment and ask your question. And make sure to click on the next video on the Saraswara and on the opening. What are the symptoms of the opening of the heart chakra? So when there is an imbalance in the root chakra, you will experience some depression, anxiety, some restlessness in the body, a weak body, and so many other symptoms of poor health. But when your root chakra, your Muladhara, is strong, powerful, well established, balanced, and powerful to sustain kundalini ascension, so therefore energy will flow easily in the sushumna. Into the sushumna is the most important nadi in the subtle body. It's located in your spine, in your Muladhara. The Muladhara is just the spine, is the axis between earth and infinity. And so the Sushumna, this is where the energy, the kundalini, ascend and travel all the way to the Sahasrara, the 1,000 crown petal chakra. And so the benefits are tremendous. So everything will go smooth and easy with no nightmarish symptoms from spiritual awakening. And you will be able to sustain high voltage of Shaktipad, of transmission, of primordial energy, and you will gain a radiant health, and you will be vibrant, and you will have a lot of energy, and you will feel vibrant, and you will start experiencing your true self, because your spiritual journey will go smooth. So make sure to click on the next video, watch that playlist on all those chakras, especially the one coming up now on, hopefully it's out by now, and on the Saraswara, which is the highest chakra, the path of enlightenment. And we will see you soon at Drinking Bliss Divine Satsang next Monday at 7 p.m. Pacific time. Looking forward to read your question and your comment.